of paper. So here's a final, and I'm going to take you through the steps on how to do this. First, you need a sheet of black paper. You're going to fold this paper hamburger, and then fold it again, hamburger, and then the last fold, you're going to be lining up this edge with this edge. So you're going to take it over and then press down. This is similar to cutting a snowflake. So now you take your scissors and you're going to be cutting a curved line from the short point, so you see this is the short point, over to the other side. So I'm going to start at the short point and cut. You may have to push kind of hard because we folded the paper quite a few times. So now what I'll have is something that is circular. Next comes the part where you're cutting like a snowflake. So you're going to cut along the edges different shapes into your triangle. It's important that you don't cut off the entire side. So if I cut in, again, this might be hard, you might have to push, and then cut in again. I definitely want to do a couple of cuts on both sides. You could even cut out the tip if you wanted to. But you see I've left space here. I haven't cut off the whole side. Then I'm going to cut in a couple of, maybe I'll do something curvy on this side. All right, and then maybe one more zigzaggy shape over here. So I've now cut out what's going to be my rose window. So I'm going to open it up carefully so I don't rip it. And you'll notice I'm creating radial symmetry, the thing that we've been talking about for the last month. So I now have the beginning, well, I now have my window. The next step is going to be to take tissue paper and glue it over the holes. So here's my finished example, and what the back of it looks like is this. So I've taken little squares of tissue paper and I've put glue around the edge of the hole, and I've glued the tissue paper over. You need to pay attention to not overlapping your colors into the next hole. So you can see right there's a little bit of green into my orange. So even Miss Gamlin makes mistakes. So I'm going to choose a piece of tissue paper. I don't want to use the whole thing, but I do want to remember that I need to keep radial symmetry. So how I'm using color is part of radial symmetry. So I check the size. I may have wanted to check it first before I cut it. So I check the size, make sure it'll cover it. I'm going to take my glue. It's open. I've twisted it open. I'm touching the glue bottle to the paper, and I'm doing dot, dot, not a lot, all the way around the edges. Try really hard not to make your hands covered with glue because tissue paper is really light and it will stick to your fingers. So if you have glue on your hands, you definitely want to make sure you're trying. If you got glue on your hands, rub it together and it'll come off. So I need another piece over here. And cover that up. Press down. Sometimes I like to use the tip of my fingernail so I don't get glue on my fingers. And I'm just going to do that all the way around. And I'm going to keep filling in the holes until it's finished. And it looks like this. So you can see on the other side how I've filled in the holes. No one will look at the back. All right, so we want to make sure that we only do this on one side so that when we have the other side, it can look like this, neat and finished, and we're going to hang it up on the windows up at the front of the school. Also, remember, write your name on the back. Make sure you use a pencil. I know a pencil, you think a pencil is not going to work. First name and your last name and your class code. Okay? And when I come back, I can't wait to see your finished stained glass windows.